discovered by Jeremy Vine, and he didn't approach me on the day, but he tweeted afterwards.
Welcome to the Need to Know Music Show with me, Ronan MacManus, here on Switchbox TV, and today I'm joined by Worcestershire-born folk pop singer, songwriter, now based in London, spotted busking by Jeremy Vine and swept onto our screens and radios. She's been releasing music steadily over the past couple of years. Her latest single is Broken Home, and it's a great example of her sound perfectly mixing that folky acoustic vibe and great catchy pop songwriting. Please welcome Lucy May Walker.
Hello!
Hello! Hello! In the edit, we won't know. That took me 2 goes. It's fine.
I enjoyed both versions. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just, yeah, anyway, it's fine. Anyway, how are you doing?
Do you know what? It's just nice to have something in the diary. No,
Same here.
I'm good. It's a weird time.
It is.
Yeah, no, I'm staying pretty positive. Got things to be positive about, so yeah, I'm good.
We sort of felt like the new year, new possibilities, and it's exactly the same as it was. The last one ended, unfortunately. But so what kind of what plans were ruined last year for you, and what was 2020 meant to be like, and what was it actually like?
So it started off pretty good, and then rapidly went downhill. No, so I started. I had a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for my second EP, and that, I think it was like maybe March, April time. So it came at the perfect time because it hit like its target in like 2 days.
Fantastic.
And if I did that Kickstarter a month later, I wouldn't have even reached the target at all, because obviously people lost work and stuff. But yeah, so that's how it started. And then I still have loads of positives from the year. But obviously I wanted to release an EP and tour it, and I didn't get to do that. But I still released an EP. And
yeah, I saw that's the Bad Day EP.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like that song, because actually I talked earlier before we came on. I talked about the young punk band, and they had a song called "Ruin Your Day," and it's a very similar sort of thing, but they're doing petty things to the person. You know, like
I'm gonna write that down. What's it called?
Yeah.
Ruin Your Day.
I think it's called Ruin Your. I think it's called Ruin Your Day. I think you Ruin Your Day, and it's by a band called the Slobheads. They're called.
Nice.
Really nice.
Like
they're a duo. they're a punk duo, just a guitar and drummer, but they're really good lads, really funny guys actually, and they've got some really great humour. And that's similar to your Bad Day. Is just like, but you're too sweet to be talking about peeing in people's tea, whatever it is they talk about. You're just hoping those things happen from afar, like some sort of voodoo witch. Is that right?
That's what they call me. No, I think the worst thing I wish on someone in that song is I hope your oven breaks at Christmas. So harsh.
It's really harsh, and you actually musically even stop the song at that point just to let it sink in. How evil a thing that is. But I think we're trying to put hope when you go shopping your items don't go through. That's really, that could be really irritating. So annoying.
I've had so many arguments with the self-checkout machine.
You know, it's not a person inside that. You know that, don't you?
Sometimes it feels like it.
Vindictive checkout machines. So so you released the Bad Day EP, and then you actually had a Christmas song at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which is a really lovely song, I have to say. It was a beautiful song, and really, I think it captured the mood perfectly. It was called "It Won't Be Easy This Christmas."
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Go. I was going to ask you about it. Then you were about to. Sorry. Don't ever say sorry. It's about you, not about me.
I talk way too much. So
that's bad. This is a bad matchup, then, isn't it?
So yeah, the Christmas single was "It Won't Be Easy This Christmas," and I wrote it on like the hottest day of the year, and I didn't think the coronavirus thing was still going to be around at Christmas, to be honest. But I feel like I released it at the perfect time, because it kind of took on this new meaning, especially when we found out the regulations had changed in the UK and we couldn't see family at Christmas. So yeah, in a very selfish way, I nailed it.
Well, this was kind of what I was going to say, because I'm assuming that it was kind of written, and then the writing and recording process that has to lead up to a release date. We didn't know that Christmas was effectively cancelled until like the few days before.
Yeah.
You couldn't have known, but it absolutely perfectly summed up the sort of the despair I think that everybody felt. So kudos on the Mystic Meg stuff there,
Thank
just
you.
foreseeing the future. But the like, sort of touring stuff, what sort of venues would you be getting around? How far do you normally get around the country?
So was it the year before I did like a 4-date tour and I did oh God, was it Edinburgh or Glasgow? Hold on.
Get this right.
Glasgow. So I went to Glasgow, Birmingham, because that's like my closest
Yeah.
hometown, uh, Manchester and London.
Oh, okay, that's a good,
So I,
good. Yeah,
yeah, I probably would have done a tour around the EP. I mean, I definitely would have done a tour around the EP. I was also supposed to be supporting my friend Melanie Baker on like I can't remember how many dates, but quite a few dates on her tour. Luckily, I didn't have that much in the diary that I had to cancel.
yeah,
Just like weddings and stuff. But if
yeah,
I feel like I can complain, but also I'm in a very lucky position where I don't like own a venue and have other people to worry about. It's just
yeah,
me, just one person's income. So
yeah.
I've done all right.
So when you go out to gigging, do you mainly gig on your own? Is that how it work with this? Or do you have a band?
Um, when I can afford a band, I have a
Yeah,
band. In fact, actually, when I can't afford a band, I still have a band. Yeah, I used to, when I had like a headline show, I'd have a full band, but it was just like so expensive, and
yeah,
the last person to get paid is the artist.
yeah.
And then after that, I went down to a duo. So I had myself and my keyboard player, Joe Watt, and he also played cajon. So he sometimes at the same time, which was
What?
impressive. Yeah, I know.
How many arms has he got?
Exactly an octopus.
That's a really handy mate to have, isn't it? An octopus musician friend. I like that.
Yeah, no, he's good. And
It
during,
must cost a few squid. Yay! Yay!
I like it. Well, he costs a lot less than a full band, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But what I've done recently, probably you've probably got questions about this, but I'll just ruin those questions and tell you. I've done like collaborations over lockdown and the pandemic, so I've still managed to play with my band just virtually.
Yeah, I saw a video you had when it was all like a split screen thing, and you all were kind of playing, and that was that the sort of thing where you record your bit and then everyone else gets to play with you, but you'd actually get to play with them because they're just playing with you. Yeah, it's bad being the first person on those things, isn't it? Because everyone else gets to play with somebody.
I did do that, but then I re-recorded the vocal. So yeah, just to get that feel, to be honest.
Yeah,
Sad, isn't it?
yeah, but this is the thing. I mean, we did a thing on Switchbox where we were doing a thing called Artists for NHS. We were getting artists to send like a message of support for the NHS staff, and my wife's a nurse, so so she got busier as I got absolutely the least busy you could possibly be. So and what we found is that people really loved it because they were missing live music so much, and I think everyone has tried to innovate and trying to recreate that because it's such a unique experience to be there live with human beings in front of you and that sort of exchange between people and that kind of thing. Did you do any of the sort of the live streams, any of those kind of things, or Zoom gigs, or any of those sorts of things?
Come on, I'm a full-time musician. Of course I did. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it at first, but I got really I did like Facebook Lives and stuff. I really enjoyed it when I first started. Well, I didn't like the initial bit of like you finish a song and no one's clapping.
Yeah.
But I really found that my fan base, although it's not massive, it's very loyal and people are really, really encouraging and generous. And I managed to basically make a living from literally live streaming on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, the thing about busking, I haven't gone into busking yet, but
You did
before
a bit of that, didn't you? Yeah.
I was busking pretty much full time. So yes, I'm a full time musician, but I'd say like 80% of that was coming from busking. So the amazing thing about busking is you're like reaching new audiences, and the people that tip you are generally tourists and they don't really know you. Whereas live streaming, you're kind of relying on the fan base that you've already got. And I felt a bit guilty after a while that these same people are like paying my rent. So me and my manager kind of thought, right, how can we do this but reach more people? So I started this thing called a songwriter series, where I got another artist on every week, and we both exchanged songs and
Brilliant. Yeah.
to like steal their fans. It didn't always work like that, but that was the idea.
But at least it's an exchange with another musician. That's another thing because the thing about the live stream gig, the Facebook Live or whatever, is kind of like you are. I've said this before on the podcast, but it's like on this show, sorry, that you kind of, it's however many people you have on, it's that many gigs for one, you know, and for you, you're gigging to nobody really apart from a chat box.
Yeah.
So to actually see another human and kind of have that exchange must have been really nice.
Yeah, and then I did do some Zoom gigs. You mentioned Zoom.
Yeah, I did one of those.
How was it for you?
I thought it was good because it was like an audience that you can see and they clap and stuff, and
you can shut them up if they're being too loud.
Well, mine was to it was like a work friend of mine's work wine group that they do on a Thursday night after work.
Ooh,
so they're all working from home. So it's just a bunch of drunk women drinking wine. So normally in that situation, you can't mute them in real life. So it was quite handy, yeah. But it was good fun because it was a gig that people could react instantly to, and people could request songs and I thought that was really. How did you find it?
Yeah, I've been doing like Zoom gigs where I've been selling tickets, but like putting it as not like a standard set amount that you pay, more like pay what you want kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was really cool to actually see people, their faces rather than like emojis.
Yeah.
And what I've just started doing actually is, hold on, let me just promote a Zoom gig. I don't know when this is going out.
Oh, well, we can turn it around as quickly as you like, but unless
Okay.
it's straight after this.
No, I have a Zoom gig. Anyone watching this or listening, I have a Zoom gig on Friday, the 26th of February, which I'm selling tickets.
Oh, 100% we'll get out before that. Yeah,
Thanks.
excellent. So, and where can they go for that? We'll put the link.
It's
We'll put the link in the description anyway.
Oh, cool. It's
but
on Eventbrite, but it's on my website, lucymaywalkerofficial.com.
okay, great. People can go and check that out.
And then the other thing that I've been doing, recently, I told you I can talk,
That's great.
is Twitch. Are you on Twitch?
This is something I've got an account and I tried to get onto it and I just don't know what's going on with that. I just don't know how to get, it's a gaming thing mainly, isn't it? Or it's set up for that, but
Well,
now more musicians are getting into it.
Yeah.
So tell me about Twitch.
I will. I'm
Please.
very new to Twitch, and I was exactly the same. I went on and saw like someone else's, and I joined their thing and started commenting, and people were like, "Oh, hi Lucy, I've just gifted you a sub to this person," and I'm like, I literally don't know what you're talking about. It's a really another world, and my manager tried to get me onto Twitch probably 6 months ago. And he's probably really annoyed at me because I was like, yeah, no, it's not for me. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, I get it. So I could have been doing this the whole time. But it's basically a streaming service. And yeah, it was initially for like gamers, but now there's loads of musicians on it. And it's just, I feel like it's completely different to Facebook and YouTube. It's like a whole community of people on there. That literally tune in to watch you, and I think the best thing about it is you have like a set list of songs. So you have this. Sorry if I'm confusing you.
No, keep going.
You basically enter your set list, and
All
people
right.
can then request songs from that set list. So it's not like people are just and you go, I have no idea what that is. So kind of the people watching decide what you're going to play, and then it's such a nice place. People are really nice. And then another thing that I found is it's really good for kind of finding a new audience, which has always been my struggle.
Well, that's the struggle of any musician really in this day and age, which is one of the things that, because there's no sort of labels, and I've discussed this many times. We're talking about a musician now has to be every part of a record label as well, and finding audience and audience finding artists is what is the just as difficult. So this is where I think I was going wrong, because I was multi-streaming my gigs. So I was doing Facebook, Periscope, which is obviously Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can't do Instagram as well with it, but I was doing YouTube. So I added Twitch to that list.
Me too.
But I had 0 people. I didn't put any thought into it. I just added it to the list and went live. And I had 0 people watching. I think you have to engage with it to do it. So maybe it's something you do on its own.
Exactly. I think if you're going to do it, I think you have to really take the time and kind of, I don't know, put some effort into it. And it is a completely different thing. So
you have to sort of, your behaviour is different on it in the way that you present the gig as such.
You chat to people. Like, a lot of it is in the chat thing. And another really good thing, the way that you can kind of grow your audience, they have this thing called a raid. So at the end of your stream, you might stream for like 2 hours or whatever. I look at it as like a busking set. So that's how long I used to busk.
Yeah.
At the end of your stream, you can raid another person's channel. So that means you take your audience. My audience at the moment is very small. It's about 20 people. But you take that and you see who else is online streaming and you raid their channel. And then that's how I've been growing my audience.
Like gate crashing.
Yeah. And then all those people then go, oh my God, this person's raided. And they'll all follow you. And my channel's been raided by someone called Natalie Holmes Music. That's her Twitch. And she brought like 100 people to my channel who now then watch my channel. So it's something to think about. I think you should.
Well, I think part of this this show was devised to try to help musicians. So we have some bigger names coming on to sort of help to grow the audience, and some smaller names. And the idea is to try to, one of the common themes that comes up is finding a new audience and using social media to do that. And how is that done? So you're the first person to bring up Twitch in this conversation, which is brilliant. So this could actually unlock a lot of things for a lot of people. So it's a very important part of the ethos of this show is what you're talking about, helping people to artists to find audience. So go.
I would also mention, and you're probably going to laugh at me now, TikTok.
No, I'm not going to laugh at you.
Okay. I was so like, I am too old for TikTok. I don't get it. And then I did a little video about roast potatoes, and it just like, it went a little bit viral. It didn't really go viral, but in my head I was like, oh my God, there's 30,000 views on this. And I've got a friend called Beth McCarthy, and she started like doing rewrites of songs on.
Yeah.
And she has millions of views, and she just released a song that she rewrote on TikTok, and it's got like 100,000 streams in about 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
That's another avenue to.
Well, that was it, because I was trying to get onto that, and there's a few other bands that I know through the Americana UK, the AMA UK, that are on it and are doing videos. And I tried it for a little while, then I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. It's not building. And then my 10-year-old son brought out a channel called The Singing Hand, where he basically mimed to Lewis Capaldi with a face drawn on his hand, and his views went through the roof. I was like, I do not understand this channel, this platform. If I'm being outsung by a hand, then maybe I've got to rethink my strategy with this whole thing.
You've just got to find your niche on it. I'm trying to do like I did a song about basically encouraging people to get their smear test done.
Okay.
That did really well. So I'm trying to find the balance of like, I've been trying to do some funny stuff and and I'm trying to find the balance of like funny but also singing, and hopefully I don't know, I'm trying.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like you've only got like a minute, haven't you, on TikTok?
Yeah.
So that's it's an interesting things to try and get into grips with, because I'm like you. I was a bit like, I can't understand these things. I'm too old. I'm not going to do it. I'm too grumpy. And then you sort of see people, it works. There's maybe,
Yeah.
and there was a friend of mine that told me about a year ago, get onto TikTok. It could be the newest, biggest thing for musicians. And I'm like, it's full of kids. Get my 8-year-old daughter doing TikTok dances, and that's what I thought it was. It was just that, but it's so much more.
Maybe you can get your daughter and your son to make a video
We wrote a song.
using your music. Oh, okay, cool.
We wrote a song called
You know what you're doing?
We wrote a song called "My Dad Can't TikTok," which we haven't done
Brilliant.
anything with, and it's about me trying to do TikTok dancing and being crap, which is
do it.
which is the lockdown dad phenomenon. I think this is all right. It's certainly a pain that a lot of dads will understand. But yeah, we sort of did it, recorded and everything. I haven't done anything with it, so maybe that's going to be our hot fire or hit. But we'll see. Anyway, back to you.
Sorry.
Now this is really interesting, because this is all the ways that what 2020's done to us all is said, right, we can't do the traditional going out singing to human beings in venues. So how else are we going to connect? And I think the Facebook Live thing, I think everyone kind of got into it straight away because it was an easy way to do it and everything. But I think it was okay when we thought that lockdown was going to be a few months. And then suddenly it was like, realised this was going to be kind of long term. And we're now going to up our game, because then there's people doing live streams with multi-cameras and all this sort of stuff from venues and stuff. And you're thinking, now me and my sofa looks a bit crap, So finding new ways to do it and do it interestingly has been the bane and also the making of musicians in 2020, I think. So anyway, let's go back to the beginning, because we're going to come back through the career, the life, so to date. So we'll get back to Broken Home at some point, because I want to talk to you about the Dunwells, because I'm a fan of theirs.
Oh,
and yes, I want to talk to you about them. Anyway, so Worcestershire born. Whereabouts in Worcestershire is this?
Redditch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Our old drummer was Leamington Spa.
Oh, nice.
So we did. I've done a few gigs around that way in his old hometown. But yeah, so what was life like musically growing up there? Was a musical family? Was there music in the local area? Was there a scene? What was it like? First of all, childhood. What sort of music were you hearing?
Oh gosh. I was having this conversation with my boyfriend the other day, and I feel like artists always have these really cool stories. Like, oh, my parents, they just listen to people like Joni Mitchell around the house. Like, I think my parents listened to like Backstreet Boys and S Club 7. So yeah, it was very like pop kind of music around the house. I feel like I just heard pop music like Westlife and Boyzone and S Club 7 and stuff like that. And ABBA, there was a lot of ABBA, who I still love.
But this is great, high quality songwriting. You realise that there's the songwriting level on those tracks, as much as people think it's sort of throwaway pop. The songwriting craft on those songs is just it's top notch. It really is. I mean, ABBA especially was a brilliant level of songwriting.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not talking ironically. I'm talking absolutely straightforward.
I wasn't sure.
No, same with Westlife and Boyzone and all those guys. That the songwriters are the professional, the best of the best, because these were the biggest pop bands around. Backstreet Boys and all that had fantastic pop songwriters on them.
Yeah, it took me a while. Then I was like, I can't.
Yes, I'm not. No.
But yeah, so we had pop music around the house, and then myself, I was very much into musical theatre. So that I feel like a lot of people started musical theatre.
Yeah.
But I always knew that I wanted to be. Oh, sorry. In I don't know if you heard that.
It was good.
I always wanted to be in music, and I think I remember listening to Radio 1 Live Lounge, and I remember that was like a pivotal moment where I thought, oh, I'm really inspired by this, and I wanted to create music, because I didn't write songs at the time. So the way people kind of made covers their own was the route I started in.
Isn't that how Amy Winehouse first did Valerie? I think it was on the Live Lounge. I think that's what she did. That's where that first was done, I think. I might be wrong with that, but I think I heard. I think,
right.
And there's loads of examples of that where it's songs that are completely reworked and everything.
Birdie,
Birdie, yes, she did. Yeah, what did Birdie do? She did
Skinny Love.
Skinny Love. It was. You're right. Well,
Yeah.
there's actually. I mean, those sessions were brilliant, weren't they? The
I
live
don't know if
lounge
they still
sessions.
do them. I think they do, but I mean, I got the CD every year for Christmas. I don't know if that's still a thing. I think it is. I didn't get it this Christmas though, so maybe
A
not.
CD's still a thing. There's the issue. We've got to ask the question. We've got to ask ourselves.
True. But yeah, I remember being very inspired by Live Lounge.
So so at what point did you start sort of playing and busking? Came that come later, the busking?
So I feel like I started kind of late in the game, in the music world. So I went to uni. I did performing arts at Cumbria University, and it wasn't till I kind of
I have lots of family in Carlisle. My mum's from,
nice.
yeah, my mum was from Carlisle. Yeah, I got loads of family up there still.
That's where I
Love
live.
love Carlisle.
Well, I lived in Carlisle for 3 years,
Ah, it's lovely. I like that. Yeah.
and I started learning guitar at uni. I started with ukulele, and I started doing some covers and stuff whilst like just on YouTube, and then it was after uni that I started kind of writing my own music. I had my first heartbreak, and I never wrote a song until that moment, and suddenly it just came out.
Brilliant. That's what we love. We love a bit of misery. That's what we like. Yeah. But that's it. I mean, you almost kind of, you know, it's all very well having your first love, but you know, you're not going to write songs about happy stuff like that. You want them to dump you so you can get a good album out of it.
Well, I thought that was my brand for a very long time,
Yeah.
and then when I met my boyfriend, who is a nice, good guy, I was like, oh, this is really bad for my brand. But then I learned how to write about other sad things in life.
In the Carlisle days, were you doing any of the venues up there?
No, I did an open mic in Carlisle in my third year of uni, and that was terrifying. At like uni bar, was it
Okay.
Hughes Hill or something. I didn't really do the gigging scene. Although when I went back for my graduation, I remember I did a gig in Carlisle, which was fun. And then, hold on, you asked about busking. When did I start busking? So
Yeah.
when I finished uni, I went back home and just saved up money to move to London, because in my head you have to be in London to make it as a musician, which is actually not true. Could have saved a lot of money, but it works for some people, and I always knew that that's where I wanted to be. So what I should have really done is kind of build up a fan base at my hometown in Redditch and Birmingham, and then move. But I did it like the opposite way around, and
Yeah.
built a fan base in London, and then went back home and was like, remember me? And I started busking maybe 6 months into living in London. I entered a busking competition called the Mayor of London's Busking Competition or something like that. Because my friends won it the year before, and they kind of encouraged me to take part. And it kind of just, you start busking, but not for money, just for votes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
This competition, and just kind of talking to other people in the competition, they just said how you could really make this your career if you put the time and effort into it. So as soon as that competition was over, I bought all the busking gear, and just started from there. And
So what did you have? Like a little amp, busking amp, and a
Yeah.
microphone and everything. And
yeah, I got microphone and like a Roland Street Cube amp.
yeah,
Powered
yeah, they're
by
brilliant.
8 batteries. But the X one, the bigger one,
Oh, okay.
the difference between the smaller one and the bigger one, if anyone's listening to this, get the most expensive one of the two, because it's such a difference. And I
And
still
if-
use that today.
And then sort of what locations were you busking in then? Where were you in central London?
Well, I was lucky because at the time I went to Borough Market and thought this was a really good place to busk. So I just emailed, and they have like resident buskers there. Only have like 3 people that busk there. And at the time of me emailing, one of them had stopped.
Ah,
So literally the next week, I managed to get this weekly slot there.
so this is your beginnings of your telepathic kind of voodoo witch
I just
era. Yeah, you just knew. Yeah, this is
I will
funny.
say I'm very good at emailing.
Right.
It's a skill that I feel like all musicians should really get
There
get good
should
at.
be classes in that more than anything else.
Honestly, I
And
feel like
Twitch.
yeah, I feel like all the opportunities I've got, I would say it's down to my emailing. I know that sounds really weird, but apparently there's just a way of doing things, and some people are naturally kind of good at that. Some people are not, and it seems I have a way with words when I'm in an email. Anyway,
Very good. Right.
I
Well,
yeah, start
emailing
busking now.
wasn't emailing's not how you met Jeremy Vine, though, was it?
Well,
Ah,
no, Jeremy Vine discovered me busking at Charing Cross. So after like a couple of years or however many years busking, I managed to obtain lots of different licenses on the Underground, on the South Bank, and a Network Rail license. And I was busking at Charing Cross, Network Rail, and discovered by Jeremy Vine. And he didn't approach me on the day, but he tweeted afterwards.
ah.
And it was like, I've just seen this amazing singer busking at Charing Cross. Can't remember her name, but it had Walker in it. And then tweeting, it's you, it's you. And yeah, you say about emailing.
Yeah.
I managed to turn that moment into something that changed my career. Because a lot of people would have been like, oh, that was cool. This guy saw me busking and he's on radio too. But I took that, I feel like those opportunities don't come around very often.
Yeah.
So I knew he had a Radio 2 show. I slid into his DMs basically on Twitter, and then got his email address. And I just said, look, thank you so much for tweeting about it. I've got loads of new followers from that. I know that you have a Radio 2 show, and this is probably, really overstepping the mark, but I have original music and it would be amazing if I could just send you a song. And literally, I think 2 days later, he played one of my songs on his radio.
That is a really charming way of approaching it, and that
Well, what can you do? Like,
that's a really nice way of putting it.
No, he just said no. Great, fine. But he didn't, and he said yes. He played the song on his Radio 2 show, which is just huge for someone that's unsigned.
Absolutely. I mean,
independent.
I had once had a sort of managed a little bit by Terry Wogan's two sons.
Wow.
And we had a single out, and their dad has a show, and we got about 3 spins on his show, and our managers were related to him. It was like, so to get a few
difficult,
plays on that is rare. It's really hard to get playlisted and then anything like that. But I mean, that's brilliant. And there's also any one of those other sort of commercial stations, they often don't have any control over their playlist. So
Yeah.
I mean, have someone, it's a perfect. Radio 2 is quite good for that, I suppose. In Radio 6, where they have a bit of freedom to play what they want to play.
Well, then, that even went on from there because he played the song and obviously spoke about the story. And
Yeah.
I got so many people ringing in saying like, oh, it's amazing that you've given this busker an opportunity. So he goes, aha. So I emailed him again. I was like, look, I don't want to push it. Again, you've done so much for me. But if you wanted me to come in and do an interview or a live session or anything, like, just let me know. And again, he kind of said, it's weird. I was kind of thinking the same thing. And then I did a live session on Radio 2, which was crazy.
But this is the thing, is like a lot of people would just be sort of happy with this radio play, and then that idea may have been in his head, but it may have just sort of dissipated. But with you kind of approaching him about it, it's
Yeah.
obviously going, okay, I'll do it now. So there is something to
I
be
was
said for
happy.
being.
I just got to put that out there. I was happy with the tweet. I was
Yeah.
happy with the Radio 2 play. And then
Yeah, but if you have a manager and you have a label and marketing team and all that, their job is to be this persistent with people to get you opportunities. That's their job, and your spine the opportunity can be the difference between playing on a Radio 2 live session and not. So it's definitely something that other people watching this can learn from and say, you don't ask, you don't get. As long as you're not an arsehole about it, be nice about it and be charming. Like you said it in a very nice, sort of non-intrusive way. It was just kind of like, it'd be really great, it'd be really cool if we did this and whatever, And he obviously liked you, so there's no harm. We weren't sort of saying, put me on or I'll, harm you or something. It wasn't the threat. He just liked it, but the fact that you backed up his idea, it was great. It's just like, it shows, isn't it? And you got on his TV show as well.
Yeah. Well, that was
and every barbecue he's ever had. And
no, I've really milked it, haven't I? But
no, but exactly. Yeah, shouldn't. It's great. It's all good.
The TV show again. It was just I had him on a podcast. So I did a podcast, Lucy May Walker and Friends, and I asked if he wanted to do it. He said yes. So I interviewed him, and he kind of mentioned it on that day. He's like, "Oh, I think we're talking about his Channel 5 morning TV show," and he just did like a throwaway comment. "Oh, we'll have to have you on that at some point." And then obviously I'm like, right,
that's on the list.
And again, just emailing. And
but he's a big music fan anyway, isn't he? I mean, I know that he always goes on about my big brother, who's Elvis Costello. He always talks about him. Or he's a big fan. It's my brother, yeah. So he always talks about him.
He's a massive fan of that.
Yes,
he is. Yeah.
So why haven't I been on his show? I haven't DM'd him. That's why.
Honestly,
can you contact him for me? Can you be my manager?
I've done I feel like I've really done enough. But use that connection because he's a massive Elvis Costello fan. Why don't you get him some sort of backstage thing and then go, hey?
Yeah, any chance to throw my arm around him?
Yeah.
Hand him a glass of wine. Yeah. But so what's he like? I mean, you get chatting to him off mic or screen?
I mean, just from me telling that story, I'm sure you can imagine how nice of a guy he is. He didn't have to do any of that.
No.
He's the nicest guy, and I remember particularly one of the nicest kind of moments when I did the TV show. I remember I had to get changed, and it was like 7:00 in the morning or something, and he was like, "Oh, Lucy, I think I was going to the toilet to get changed," and he saw me like going to the toilet in this like sparkly dress in my hand, and he's like, "Oh, Lucy, go in my dressing room. You can go have my dressing room to get changed, and just knock when you're done, or whatever." Just things like that.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy, and always. Oh, he sent me macarons in the post.
He sent you what?
Macaroons, but they're actually macarons.
Oh, what, the biscuits?
Yeah. That's just because.
Oh, that's nice. It's a nice touch.
I think it's because I asked him to play a song, and I don't think he could at the time, so he just sent me those in the post as like a very nice rejection. It's just, I love him so much.
Is it pronounced macaron?
Macaron, yes. So there's two different things, macaroons and macaron, and yeah. He
sent you macarons. Okay, macarons. That's nice. It's nice to know that because I've always known of him as a big music fan, and it's good to know that he's genuinely a nice guy as well. So that's really
so nice.
Oh, fantastic. Right, okay, well, let's talk about the Dunwells.
Yes.
Because the Dunwells, I saw them at a gig in Hoxton, I mean, years ago now.
I wonder if we were both there.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. They'd just finishing what they had done their Pizza Express tour, another Pizza Express tour, the coffee place, Cafe Nero.
Cafe Nero?
And this was the end of the Cafe Nero. It's like an acoustic thing they did in this. I can't remember who was the support act, but someone really good as well. Anyway, it was they were brilliant because I was in a band with my brothers, and harmonies is a big thing, and they're so brilliant. What's it been like? So I know that they've been producing your music recently and co-writing with you. So how did that all come about?
I entered a competition very many years ago called Open Mic UK, and one of the judges on that competition knew them somehow, and after the competition he was maybe putting on a gig for them, and he asked me if I wanted to support. And this is how long ago it was. It was my first gig that I'd ever done accompanying myself, because my brother used to play for me before I could play guitar. And I was blown away. They were amazing. And I wasn't as savvy with kind of connecting at this point because it was really, I just started writing my own stuff.
Yeah.
But I remembered going to a few gigs of theirs and making sure that my name was kind of, you know, and I remember emailing their manager at the time, asking for gigs, supporting them again. And I remember supporting them at the Lexington in
Yeah.
London.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great venue.
It's a brilliant venue. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was that gig that they kind of took me a little bit more seriously because I was obviously a lot better than I was when I first met them. And they suggested co-writing, which was scary to me because I'd never co-written with anyone. But yeah, so we started writing together and it was just, we just had the best time. And then they suggested producing my music. And I'd worked with a few producers and just, I think it's so important to get like the right producer who kind of gets you, and they just understood me. So yeah, very long story short, we've been working together for probably 7 years or something now, and they've produced both my EPs and all my singles, and they're an amazing band. Well, more of a duo now, but
Yeah.
they're incredible, and I can't sing their praises enough.
So, how do you feel have enhanced your songwriting abilities?
I think they just gave me a lot more confidence in my own songwriting abilities, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
And kind of, yeah, they were just always really, whatever ideas I said, they weren't kind of shutting them down. They just went with it. And I still write them with them now. I wrote my most recent single,
I
Broken
was going to
Home.
say. Yeah. Yeah.
We wrote that over video calls, actually, which was
What was that like?
interesting. Weird, but it worked because I'm so comfortable writing with them. It seemed to work. But I remember because there's the two brothers, Dave and Joe, as you probably know, and I remember I thought they'd be in the same room, but we were all on separate calls in our own houses. And me and Dave started writing, and Joe was like, right, I need to go and do the school run. I'll be back. he'd sing a line and then leave and then come back, and somehow like the song was kind of written, and chaotic but great.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is the sort of the job of the co-writer, isn't it? To sort of really try and nurture the artist's ideas, and sounds like they've done a great job encouraging you from when you first brought them right through to now. And Broken Home that's a really lovely, beautiful song.
Thank you.
And as I said in the intro, it's a real kind of perfect mix between the sort of folky vibe, the sort of folky acoustic vibe, and it's just really good pop writing. It's got a really good upbeat, although the kind of subject matter is a bit, it's kind of it's obviously a bit of a kick up the arse to sort of say, look, we don't need this to go wrong, and it's been in the broken home and in this sort of negative sort of stuff, but it's said in such a happy way. It's a brilliant, I think it's really good. It's perfect little balance between all that stuff. When that song was written, what was it like when you were writing it? Was it one of those things that the idea came to you and then how did it develop?
Before I go into a writing session, I always know what I want to write about, and I said to them, so that kind of, it's a really uplifting song if you listen to it, but you can kind of tell like, oh, this has come from a very dark place. So basically, a little bit of backstory. My parents split up 2.5 years ago, which is a strange thing to happen as like an adult child, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously I've been writing about that a lot. And I went into this session, I was like, right, I love writing upbeat songs with the Dunwells and happy songs, but I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to write about that, but I want to kind of spin it on its head and turn it into a positive. So I kind of put myself in their situation. I said, look, I want to write this song about me thinking if I was in their situation before their relationship broke down, what would I have done to kind of save a relationship?
Yeah.
And that's the song is just trying to do everything you can and work on the positives that you have and the love between you, and just try and make a relationship work.
So did you have that? We don't need another broken home, or did that kind of come out of? Because often when I'm songwriting, you kind of sing nonsense lyrics and things pop out. Or did you have that idea already formed?
I think I definitely knew I wanted some sort of broken home
Right.
in there.
It's a great title. I mean, you know what I mean. It works as a really good
Yeah, I think a
evocative
lot of
title.
people relate as well. So even if they
Yeah.
just saw the title "Broken Home," they'd be like, "Oh God, I'm from a broken home. What's this song?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I know people write in all different ways, but I always know I want to know exactly what I'm writing about because otherwise I just have no kind of inspiration or passion behind it. I have to write about something I'm passionate about.
Well, I mean, when you finished it, we were like, okay, that's a single.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was like, this is a hit, and I managed to record it in between lockdowns and stuff. So I managed to go up to Leeds and record it with them just in time, and the Christmas single as well. So I was lucky with that.
Yeah, but it's like it must be fatiguing to sing, is it? Because there's quite a lot of words in that chorus.
Yes, it's so hard. I
Why
don't
did
know.
I write? Why did I write this chorus like this?
I managed to sing it easily in recording, and then I've been like singing it live, going, "Oh no!" You know, when you start a song way too fast, and you go, "We need another bro." It's just really tongue-tying thing, tongue twister.
It's a bit like she sells. Well, I can't even say
Yeah.
it. That's just it goes to show. But okay, right. I've got a question, which is when I pretend to be a real journalist and ask you a proper question with an answer.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, but okay, this is a dream. That's a dream gig question,
Oh,
and it's a dream gig. So you're on first, and then there's someone after you, and somebody's headlining. So you're on first. It's a 3-person bill. It could be anybody from any time of history. They can be alive or dead, or and you can also choose the venue. So
wow. Okay.
who is on? Sorry, my watch is talking to me. So who is on your dream gig, Lucy May Walker?
I have always wanted to support Lucy Rose.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know she's really quite different to me, and her songs are very mellow and quite sad. But I'd have to put her on because she's just my dream to support. Actually, got it. I'm on first because
Yep.
that's where you've put me. I mean,
That's it.
my
Yeah,
ego
no,
said I was headlining, but that's okay. I'm on first, then Lucy Rose, and then Bombay Bicycle Club.
right. That's a
yeah?
good gig. It's a good gig. That's a good
I'd
gig.
go to that.
Absolutely.
I discovered Lucy Rose because she was on Bombay Bicycle Club. They're my favourite band, indie band, and she featured on some of their tracks, and that's how I discovered her. So yeah, that's my dream lineup.
And what venue?
Ooh, well, this is different.
Wherever you play, it's packed. So don't worry about you. You
Thank you.
don't have to worry about selling tickets. You don't have to think
Oh,
about where can I put this gig on. It's not going to be that way. Because that's.
well, it's
So
not the reality of some gigs that I've put on where there's like 200 capacity venues and there's 3 people there.
we've all done those. We've all done those. Not like, it's at the O2, but there was just my mum and dad there. But that's
No one
fine.
there. Well, I saw Lucy Rose play the Barbican in London, and
Yeah.
I really loved that venue. And I really like seated venues, and I think it kind of works for definitely her music. But if we've got Bombay supporting,
They're headlining.
I meant, sorry, again, I'm
Again, you've just demoted them automatically.
Bombay headlining. Would they work at the Barbican? It's a nice venue. I did see them play at what's it called? It's an O2 one.
Oh, the Indigo at the O2. Is it this, or is it one of
No.
the Islington O2 or O2 is Islington or the Academy Shepherd's Bush Empire?
Oh God.
The
Brixton.
Brixton Academy O2 Brixton Academy.
Chris, what's that? Where did we see Bombay play? Oh, yes, I'm going to change it. Ali Pali.
Ali Pally. There we
Not
go.
what I meant, but that's not what I meant. But we're going with Ali
He's
Pally.
okay. So we like Chris now.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's in the good books. He's redeemed himself from his earlier noisiness in the background, which is probably edited out. But I've mentioned it anyway. But okay, then that's it. We've got it. So it's Bombay Bicycle Club, Lucy Rose, and you at Ali Pally. That's good.
Can
Good
we make
gig.
that
Done.
happen? That'd be great.
Not this year, no, but nor last year, but no, maybe 2022. 2022. Let's let's do it. I've now got a recommendation part of the show, which is we always ask people for, because it is the Need to Know Music Show. We're asking you to for a suggestion of an artist that people need to know.
Okay. Well,
It can be anybody from a friend of yours to the band or the artist that has influenced you the most over your musical life.
can I say two? Can I say the Dunwells? No, but just because we've spoken about them.
These are the rules. No, go on. Yeah, I'll break the rules for you.
Thank
no,
you.
there's
The
you're right.
Dunwells.
Many people say do more than one recommendation, but you're
It's
the
tough, isn't it?
Dunwells. So the Dunwells, you have to go and check out the Dunwells, and I'll second that recommendation. So I'm just buying you some time by waffling a bit. Who's your?
There's so many I could say, and so many different avenues. But someone that I'm really impressed with is Maisie Peters. I'm sure
Okay.
most people will have heard of her anyway. Have you heard of her?
I haven't heard of her.
No way. Okay,
I'm
cool.
missing out. So this is good.
Maisie Peters, she supported Tom Walker on
Okay.
tour maybe 2 years ago, and she has like this amazing kind of mix that her lyrics are my favorite thing about a song. Her lyrics are amazing, and she's poppy, but I don't know, she's just great. Listen to Maisie Peters and listen to the lyrics of her songs. I think she's genius.
Excellent. We'll put links to the Dunwells and to Maisie Peters, and also to your stuff. So, what's the best place for people to go to? We've talked about Twitch. People will go and check you out on Twitch and TikTok. What's the best social media for people to keep in touch with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and I would still say Spotify, as much as it's not great for payment for artists. I feel like that's the best place to find
It's still a
it.
great discovery tool, isn't it? It's still, you
Yeah.
can't beat it. People can try before they buy. But so I try to use it in the way that if I listen to something and I like them, I then try to buy something physical from them. I'll try to do a direct download
Oh,
or
there we
something.
go.
So we
Well,
should
just
try. That's quite
Add
a
it
good way
to a
to do it.
playlist, and it
That's
it
true.
helps.
That's true.
And can I plug something else?
Of course you can. This is what this is all about.
If people are listening to this and they're in the UK, I'm guessing most of your audience is UK.
Yeah. Well, we are international, obviously, but there is a lot of UK. Yeah.
I'm currently on the New to Two playlist on. Well, I don't know if it's a playlist, but I'm in the system for BBC Radio 2, which again, Jeremy Vine played Broken Home last week, which was amazing, and Joe Wiley played it. Didn't even
wow.
go into that. How have we not mentioned that?
Have we mentioned Joe? What?
I know it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, that's
Thank you
very
very
exciting.
So, if people listening to this can do me a massive favour and request the song on Radio 2, because it's in the system now, so it means that any Radio 2 presenter can play it, but it's not currently on a playlist, which means they have to. So I'm just trying to get as many people to kind of request the song and hopefully make a bit of noise to Radio 2, so then they go, oh, maybe we should put her on an actual playlist.
Well, thanks, Lucy, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and hearing all about your story and everything. It's been brilliant, and wish you all the best of luck with everything you're doing with the new music and all of your with the single Broken Home. I hope it gets requested on Radio 2, like we've
Thank
asking
you.
people to do. And right, everybody watching, please tune into Lucy May Walker's Zoom gig. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite. It's this Friday coming up. The link is in the description. Please support her and all new music. It's very important for artists these days to get the support and, you know, playlists of songs and all that kind of stuff. So go and follow her on all the stuff.
All of the things.
All the things. And she's Twitches as well, which is what does she do? So she's on Twitch, she's on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of that stuff and TikTok. So go and get an eyes and ears full of Lucy May Walker because she's brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. It's been so much fun, and I wish you all the best. Okay.
This is really, really fun. Thank you very much.